Hey, what is up everybody, Blitz for here, and today I have for you guys another video of Black Clover Mobile. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be a little bit deep diving a little bit more into Langris's kit, talking about the new functions that he actually ends up bringing with what he has to bring to the game. So if you guys are actually interested in that, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. We've been doing absolutely amazing on all the support so far, so I do have to say thank you all for that. And let's go ahead and dive straight into it. Now, after doing a little bit of digging on Pride Win, I had to make sure that no one really shared the same thing that Langris brought to the plate. And for those of you who don't know exactly what I'm fully talking about, I'm talking about Langris, who was leaked a couple days ago. I think it was like a day or two ago, in which I ended up reporting about it here, telling you guys exactly what he can do and pretty much everything else regarding that was leak related. So this character, Langris himself, is kind of interesting, right? He's that greedy type of character, which fairly does fit his actual character inside of the anime very, very well. And I gotta say, he's definitely a hype character. But one of the new things that he ends up bringing to the plate of Black Clover Mobile as a whole here is more or less the SP hogging type of deal. Now, a lot of characters don't SP hog too much. They're usually kind of okay and balanced on it, really. They don't really want to be, I guess you could say, the center of attention when it comes to SP in general like that. And so you don't really pay too much of attention to it unless you're just using a lot of just like, I guess, specials, right? Well, seeing that every character are going to have their SP and usually they need them for certain moves and such like that here, this character straight up takes that and says, I'm going to use it only for me. And that's it. I run the show. In which is fairly interesting to see inside of Black Clover, seeing that, of course, that when it comes down to your characters, you're going to need the SP for pretty much everyone on your team. But with this character, he straight up does not care. He uses it mainly for his buffing. He uses it specifically to grant himself the SP buffs here, as well as to make it so he can deal more things here with, such as like reducing HP on different people here and stuff like that. And it's fairly interesting because he even has a chance to do this to his allies, which is freaking weird. I don't really understand it just yet, seeing that, like, for example, he will sacrifice a certain amount designated of allies SP to grant himself a buff, but at the same time he grants a chance to reduce HP recovery received debuff on his ally, which is so weird because that means you're really going to be not only fighting the enemy, but you're going to be fighting this unit that's on your team as well. So with the SP buff here that we're seeing is that he's getting himself a ton of like crazy different buffs that are actually going to be really good for him, just stacking up as much damage as possible. This means he's able to at least get off his skill 2s a lot more, as well as his ultimates a lot quicker, making things a little bit, more dangerous with this character. Now, the character himself alone, we don't have this mechanic in the game. So seeing how this is furtherly going to cooperate with other characters is going to be fairly interesting, and definitely a sight to see the least, especially seeing that we're trying to mix up the meta just a little bit. He's definitely going to kind of shake that a little. But along with this wild statement of his skill 2 and skill 1, his ultimate's also kind of interesting too. I talked about it a little bit here, or either I just said you guys can look at it because it was late night, in which with this here, he deals damage to all enemies. So this as well will inflict the HP recovery immunity debuff on the enemy, which is interesting as well, while giving all his allies a favorite damage. Now, this is one of the deals where instead of him being greedy, he's now giving back with his allies, which is fairly interesting with that. But it's still kind of iffy because seeing that this character himself as well is going to be relying on this SP here. Yes, sure, he's giving his allies that favorite damage, which can actually be very good depending on the percentages. But starting off, seeing that you need to keep taking from your allies first, can fairly ruffle some things that are a little bit around. So this is one of the few mechanics that I think would be very interesting. The only thing I can have to pretty much compare it is if you guys play Star Rail or other games that do have a point system when it comes to attacks here, you guys would know that some things are kind of like, they're kind of, some units are going to be more, I guess, prioritized than others. So I compared this to me being playing a Star Rail for a little while here, to Don Hong, which is one of the characters that came out here, in which he has an enhanced skill, right? With the skill points that he has here, instead of it being used for everyone on the team, he's able to enhance himself by giving himself more damage and stuff like that, which is fairly what is Longris is doing. And I find it kind of interesting to see that we're going to have something kind of similar to that, at least in a twisted manner with his character being the way he is. Fairly interesting, because that means if this character has the right stats, he very well could actually be a strong character to say the least. Now, his team comp is what's going to be kind of iffy for me. I've been trying to think of different things here, but until we get to see more about this character, or at least get to see him in action, it's going to be kind of hard to say exactly what he can do. Now, some things I did not mention, of course, when it does come down to this character, is his Grimoire skill, in which he will sacrifice a percentage of a designated ally's current HP to grant himself some more SP. So no matter who you pair this man with, most likely seeing he's probably going to be a debuffer or attacker. No matter who you pair him with, you are gonna want to try your best to at least keep this guy with maybe a tanker, I would say, of some sort, because yeah, I would like to say, like, whenever we're doing this scene that has a chance and you're taking away from a person, I think a tanker would be the best choice because they have a lot of HP no matter what. Or I guess you could possibly use what's it called, Swimsuit Charmy, seeing that she has a lot of HP and that's what she's built off a lot. She do heals. Those would be the best people to kind of take away from a little bit, just because if you're doing this to your DPSs, it probably won't end well, seeing they'll be very, very much so glass cannoning. But going over at least the new mechanic with this, I think he's going to be fairly dang awesome. But you guys tell me what you think down below, and I gotta say, this character is going to be a sight to see. Now, I think I have another video for you guys as well. If future me remembered that, we should have another video, and it should be going over the Golem for Canadian. So be sure to look out for that. But till next time, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button with your forehead. See you later.